Hey everyone, it's Nikki the Van Mystic. Happy Scorpio season! I'm here to do some Scorpio season Tarotscopes for each zodiac sign, all within this one video, okay? So I'm gonna do little mini readings, short little readings for each sign, and I'm gonna put timestamps in the description box and the comment section below so that you can skip right to your sign if you want. And basically these readings are going to bring through lessons from Scorpio season. So what is Scorpio season here to teach you, your individual sign, and then how can you best work with and flow with that lesson. So what else? I am using the Light Visions Tarot today. I don't normally use this deck for my community readings, but it just has a very Scorpio season feeling to it. It felt very appropriate. So we're going to try it out, and these readings are intended for sun signs. However, if you feel called to watch for your moon sign, your rising sign, or another one of your signs, please do whatever you feel called to do. Follow your intuition. Watch as many readings as you want, okay? I really encourage you to trust yourself when it comes to which readings you watch, all right? And then the last thing I want to say is that yes, these readings are for Scorpio season, but if you're sitting here right now and you were called to watch this video and it's no longer Scorpio season of 2019, today's October 23rd, that's totally fine, okay? There's a reason that you were called to watch this reading or these readings, so trust yourself regardless of the time. It doesn't really matter what time it is or what week it is or what year it is even, okay? So without further ado, we will get started. Like I said, there are timestamps below. I am going to start with Scorpio, of course. Hello, Scorpio. I love you. Happy birthday. I'm going to pull a card to represent your lesson for Scorpio season, and then a card to represent how you can best work with and flow with that lesson. So there is your lesson, and how can you best work with that lesson, Scorpio? Okay, so interesting. So as your lesson, we've got Justice. And then as your way to work with and really learn from that lesson, we've got the High Priestess, okay? So here's what I'm seeing with Justice. I'm seeing some kind of medicine trying to come into your life, perhaps a lesson, perhaps not a very easy lesson, maybe one that has been challenging for you or will be challenging for you, and that you feel like resisting because it doesn't feel easy, okay? So you're pushing against it, but in doing that, you're fighting against the medicine and the lesson that's trying to come through. So if you find a challenge coming up over this next month, over the course of this cycle, and you just feel like you don't want to deal with it, you don't want to look at it, you don't want to whatever, stop and think again, really look at it, ask yourself if it may be what is for your highest and best, even if it's not the most easy thing right now to sit with, okay? Feels like there is a deeper learning coming through, and I think on some level you know this, right? Deeply within yourself, in your subconscious, your intuition will tell you, that little voice inside of you will tell you this is for your highest and best, but your conscious mind and your ego may be going, I don't want to deal with this, it hurts, it's not easy, I don't like it, okay? So try to choose the voice of your spirit over the voice of your ego and be accepting of challenges and facing challenges head on instead of trying to push them away because it's easier, okay? I just feel like what you resist will persist, and it's not going to help you to kind of cut off the source of the medicine. That's what I'm seeing here, like with this snake, it's sort of like it's trying to teach you something, and perhaps a lesson in change. I'm feeling like a challenging change of some kind for some of you, but if you cut it off, you're not going to get like the deeper messages behind the lesson, or if you sort of like try to remain unconscious throughout it, you're not going to get what you really need to get out of it. So try to be open to it, even if it's not always easy, okay? Okay, so have a great season, Scorpio, and I hope this helps to guide you through this cycle. So moving on to Sagittarius. Sagittarius, I am going to pull one card to represent your Scorpio season lesson, And then one card to represent how you can best work with and really learn from that lesson. So your lesson for Scorpio season, what is Scorpio season bringing forward for you? And then how can you best learn from and work with that lesson? Great. Okay, so as your lesson, Sag, we've got the High Priestess, and as your way through this lesson, we've got the King of Chalices or Cups. Okay, so the High Priestess is really, makes so much sense with Scorpio. It's those deep waters of your intuition and your subconscious really rising up to the surface. So you're really being called on here to walk through the waters of your subconscious and really look at some of the deep-seated beliefs, maybe old trauma that needs healing, maybe like these deep knowings that you have within you, perhaps things that you know you need to change, or desires, that things that you know that you want but consciously you have not been aware of, or you have not been wanting to be aware of. Okay, things like that are going to start coming up. And you are called on with Scorpio season to really listen to that little voice within you, deep within you, and to trust it and take action on it. Okay, and the King of Chalices asks you to remain sort of emotionally stable and grounded throughout this process. So for example, if you have some challenging emotions coming up, find healthy channels and ways of coping with it and processing it, instead of letting it kind of come out without properly like looking at it. Like, you know, when there's something wrong, like, you know, when there's something that is trying to come up, but you don't really want to face it, and so it kind of ends up coming out in all these like dysfunctional ways. Like you might lash out at somebody, or you may just be in a bad mood, or you may feel like sad and you don't know why. Okay, it's that kind of a thing that happens when you are pushing something away, or you don't really want to look at something. So take a deeper look. Try to like properly process emotions coming up, right? Why are you here? Who are you? What are you doing? How are you serving me? How might you be protecting me? Maybe do some journaling around it, right? If you don't know exactly why it's happening, so that you can get to the bottom of it and really understand it. So find these healthy coping mechanisms like journaling, like exercise, like talking to somebody, right? Or talking to yourself. So that these things don't come out in the wrong way, or remain kind of just feel sort of like when you're pushing back something really, really strong, and then it and then you just stops working and it all comes forward in a flood, right? So I hope that makes sense. But remain grounded, okay, and make sure that you are really like confronting feelings as they come up, instead of trying to push them off and not really understand them, right? Okay, Sag, have a great season, and I hope that helps to guide you through this cycle. So we are moving on from Sag and into Capricorn. So Capricorn, hello, happy Scorpio season. So Capricorn, I'm going to pull one card to represent your Scorpio season lesson, and then another card to represent how you can best work with and really learn from this lesson, okay? So Capricorn, your lesson, and how you can really work from this lesson. Okay, great. So your lesson is represented by the Knight of Swords, and your way through this lesson is represented by the King of Swords, okay? So there is a lesson in reactiveness here, and really kind of finding maturity with your voice and how you react to challenges, okay? So you may find yourself more embodying this Knight of Swords energy, where you just kind of feel like as challenges come up, you just want to smash them, right? Like it's kind of like you just want to throw your energy at it. You don't want to think about it. You just want to bash it, right? Not physically, obviously, but for example, somebody may say something that you disagree with, and you may find yourself saying something hurtful as a reaction, and it's sort of like not something that you really thought through. It's not something that's necessarily even true, but it just kind of came out on impulse, right? And didn't really think about it. The King of Swords asks you to be strategic, okay? He asks you to be strategic and to really think about your actions and think about how you can better handle things without being reactive or too impulsive. So the lesson here for Scorpio season for you is really in learning to think things through before you react. So think about how you can do that. It could be something as simple at the start as when you feel that bubbling up inside of you that's coming out as anger or reactiveness. You just take a deep breath, okay, and you say to yourself, I'm gonna go think about this, or you say to the other person, I gotta go think about this, right? So you don't have to worry about saying something perfect, but instead you could just say, I need a little bit of time to think about this, right? And then go take that time, let some steam off, whatever you need to do, and then come back when you have like come up with something that makes a bit more sense and has a little bit more strategy to it and won't just come out as like something hurtful or irrational, okay? Okay, so have an awesome season, Capricorn, and I hope that helps to guide you through. Okay, so next we're moving into Aquarius. Hello, Aquarius. I hope you're well. Happy Scorpio season. So I'm going to pull a card for you to represent your Scorpio season lesson, and then a card to represent how you can best work with that lesson. Ooh la la. Okay, I love this together. So your lesson, Aquarius, is represented by Temperance. And your way through this lesson, or your way to learn from this lesson, is represented by the Empress. And I really feel such a tie between these two cards, such a similarity between these two cards. And what I feel here is really like they are just giving it up to the universe. You know, I feel a really strong message about surrender coming through for you, Aquarius. And the need to kind of just surrender to circumstances or surrender to divine timing. And really just, you know, I super feel that if you really wanted to go something to go a certain way and it's not happening in that way, to be very accepting of that and to surrender to the changes that are happening that are not necessarily within your control, instead of trying to force them, okay? Take it as a sign that it was just not meant to go in that way, and try to surrender to the flow of the universe. And within that surrender, we have the Empress as your way through this lesson, your best way through this lesson. Lean into creativity. Lean into self-care, lean into love and compassion, okay? So try to get through any unexpected changes or this kind of feeling of like not being in control by turning your attention onto yourself and loving yourself and making sure that you are cared for, all right? Okay, pretty straightforward, Aquarius. So surrender, your word is surrender. All right, so I hope you have a great season, and we are going to move on from Aquarius into Pisces. So Pisces, hello, we are in water. We've just stepped into water today. So we are in Scorpio season, and I'm going to pull a card for you, Pisces, to represent your Scorpio season lesson. What is Scorpio season here to teach you, and then how can you best work with and learn from that lesson, Pisces, okay? Okay. Great, so your lesson, Pisces, is represented by strength, and then your way through it is represented by the Hermit, okay? So when I see strength here, what I'm seeing is that you are more capable than you may realize, and so you may find yourself thrown into a lesson that that forces you to understand that, okay? So you may find yourself thrown into some kind of a challenge, something kind of scary, something that you feel like is way over your head, something that you feel unprepared for. And you are called on with Scorpio season to find your strength and get through it. And through that, recognize that you are so much more capable in whatever this is than you thought you were, okay? So it's really about facing challenges and walking through something scary, something that intimidates you, something that you didn't think that you could do, and realizing that you are a lot stronger than you thought. And as your way through this, we have the Hermit, which is really about walking your own path and listening to your own inner wisdom, okay? So if it comes to like a challenge, or you come across a conflict, or you're thrown into a situation that feels kind of out of your league or kind of scary, trust yourself. Don't try to mimic what other people are doing. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Do things your way, and that's where you're gonna really find your power, okay, Pisces? So that's all I've got for you, and I hope you have a wonderful season, all right? Hope that helps to guide you through this cycle. And we are going to move into Aries now. So hello, Aries. I hope you're well. Happy Scorpio season. So I'm going to pull one card to represent your Scorpio season lesson. So what is Scorpio coming in to teach my Aries people? And then how can you best work with and really learn from that lesson? Okay. So your lesson is represented by the Orchard, which is kind of the wild card in this deck. It's not a typical tarot card. And then your way through this lesson is represented by the World, okay? So as your lesson, when I see the Orchard, really makes me feel like there is a lesson here in understanding when something is not for you, okay? Like when you're kind of, the Orchard is really about trespassing on land that's not your own, and then being kind of like, oh dear, right? This is not for me. This is not my space. And that's okay, right? So it feels a little bit like you may find yourself getting into something and then realizing that it's not for you. And so there's a lesson here about accepting that that's okay. Even if you started something thinking that you were gonna like it, it's okay to change your mind. So that's what it really feels like, that it's okay to change your mind. And your way through it as the World, it really makes me think that there is a message here about things happening in cycles, and this kind of cycle of like death and rebirth, like where there is an ending, there will always be another beginning. So don't worry that by ending one thing, like that nothing will ever work out again, right? If you make space by letting something go or giving up on it, something will inevitably fill that space. So don't worry about walking away from something or changing your mind about something or whatever it may be. Know that like that is just the cycle of things. The cycle will continue regardless of what you do, right? It may not be exactly in the timing that you wanted or you expected, but something will come in to replace whatever it is that is not working for you anymore, okay? Okay, Aries, so we are gonna move on, and I hope you have a great Scorpio season. I hope that helps to guide you through. So we're gonna move on into Taurus. Okay, Taurus, so happy Scorpio season, your sister sign. I hope you're doing well. Taurus, I'm going to pull one card to represent your lesson from Scorpio season, your Scorpio season lesson for my Taurus people. And then a card to represent your way through that lesson, or how you can best flow with and really learn from that lesson, Taurus, okay? Okay, great. So Taurus, as your lesson, we've got the Page of Wands. And as your way through this lesson, we've got the Two of Swords, okay? So here's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like with the Page of Wands, something unexpectedly exciting may be entering your life throughout the course of this cycle, throughout this next month, okay? And it kind of feels like surprising. And with that surprise, there's a little bit of a feeling of resistance. And so I feel like there's like some doubt or some feelings of should I, shouldn't I, some feelings of like a lack of clarity, not really sure if this is the right direction, but it feels good. So it's kind of like, trust yourself, trust the adventure, trust your impulse. If something unexpected comes into your life, do your best not to fall into this place of doubt. Do your best to tap into your intuition, listen to your inner voice, and follow what feels good. And also I'm feeling like I see this little butterfly, if you can see, that is like above her, their swords, and so it's making me feel like whatever this is going to lead to some kind of transformation for you, big or small. So don't brush it off as something that just sort of like, I can't do it, I don't have time, I don't have the resources, I shouldn't. Yes, it's fun, yes, it sounds great, it feels great, but just no, I just can't, right? Try not to fall into that, because it actually may lead you into something that is bigger than it is at the beginning, if that makes sense. So it may lead to some kind of transformation or bigger change for you down the road. So don't brush it off as something kind of just a small pleasure, right? It could end up growing into something bigger, okay? So allow yourself to get kind of wrapped up in this new thing that's coming into your life, Taurus, and sort of like swept away with it, and trust and know that it's going to grow and kind of, I feel like, tumble and transform something in your life for the better, and into something bigger than you may have expected, okay? So enjoy your season, and I hope that helps to guide you through. So from Taurus, we're moving into Gemini. Hi, Gemini. Hope you're doing well. I'm going to pull one card for you to represent your Scorpio season lesson, and then another card to represent your way through that lesson, or how you can best work with and really learn from that lesson, Gemini. Okay, so your Scorpio season lesson and how you can best work with that lesson and learn from that lesson. Okay, so Gemini, here's what I've got for you. As your lesson, I've got the Knight of Pentacles. And as your way through that lesson, I've got the King of Wands, okay? So the Knight of Pentacles as your lesson, what I'm really seeing here is the horse who's like kind of eating this strawberry, okay? And it's making me feel that there is really a lesson here in understanding that good things take time, and good things take nurturing, right? So I'm seeing somebody who's like burning themselves out, working, trying to rush through something. And the thing is that it may seem in the moment like that is going to get you what you want faster, but in reality, because you are not nourishing yourself or your process, you may end up burning out, you may end up making mistakes, or your result may end up not being as good. So there is a need to take more time and care with your process over this next month. If it doesn't have to do with work, it could have to do with some other aspect of your life where you feel like you're rushing towards a goal. But there's a need to take more care with the process and with yourself, and with your tools, right? And really making sure that you're developing your tools and caring for your tools, whatever those are. And in doing that, you know, it may take you a little more time, but your results are going to be magnified into something so much bigger than they would have otherwise. And the King of Wands as your way to really integrate and learn from this lesson, we have sort of this master. I see somebody who's really mastered something, really mastered their creativity. This person, compared to the other court cards in this deck who are in the wands, which are a little more flowy and getting caught up in it, this person here is really strong and a little bit more linear, right? So in taking the time, in putting in the practice, really nurturing the process and the self, there is a stronger chance to come towards mastery, and for whatever goal you're working towards to be much more solid and stronger than it would have been if you had rushed and skipped steps, or, you know, not taken as much time to learn along the way, or, you know, put as much time and resources into whatever it is that you're doing. So in taking a bit more time and being a bit more patient and really nurturing your process, we end up more in a more strong place and a bigger place of mastery, and with that, confidence as well, which is super important. Okay, so that's all I got for you, and I hope you enjoy your season. So we are moving on from Gemini and into Cancer. So hi, Cancer. We're stepping into water with Scorpio season. I hope you're doing well, and I am going to pull a card for you, Cancer, to represent your Scorpio season lesson, and then another card to represent your way through this lesson or how you can best work with this lesson, okay? So your lesson and how you can really learn from this lesson. Okay. So as your lesson, we've got the Knight of Chalices or Cups. And then as your way through this lesson, we've got the Three of Chalices or Cups, okay? So the Knight of Cups as your lesson, I see somebody who is really following the impulses of their heart, okay? I see somebody who's really riding the wave of what feels good, and they're allowing their heart to be their leader, and they're just going along for the ride, okay? And when the Three of Chalices comes through as the best way to really learn from that lesson and work with that lesson of letting the heart be the leader, I'm feeling like there's a need to just do it for the fun, okay? There's a need to just do it because it feels good, not because there is a goal in mind or an objective in mind or, you know, an attachment to the outcome. There's a need to kind of allow yourself to do things that just feel good. For example, I just keep getting a message to share this, and this will probably apply to at least a few of you. Cancers, what I'm hearing is like, okay, somebody really fixated on being in a relationship with somebody, and the message being that the relationship will come to you more naturally if you just get out and have fun. For example, go do something that feels good, go take a class, go out dancing with your girlfriends, go out to dinner, really just enjoy life and sort of radiate and vibrate on that really high level of love. That is what is going to attract love to you, not like sitting there getting hyper focused on what you want and sort of forcing it to happen and going out, you know, with your friends, but really just like kind of being like, I need to find somebody, right? So that's just an example. It's not going to apply to everybody, but I was called to share that. Like, what is going to bring you satisfaction within your heart, and what is going to really bring you your heart's desire is sort of just like following joy instead of following this outcome that you're looking for, okay? So following things that feel good will end up kind of like piling on more things that feel good, okay? So do things that feel good without an agenda, and in doing that, you're gonna start attracting more love and more joy into your life naturally, okay? So have some fun, Cancer, okay? And more fun will be attracted to you once you start doing that, and just do it for yourself, okay? Okay, Cancer, so have a great season, and I hope that helps to guide you through this cycle. So from Cancer, we are moving on, and we are moving on into Leo. So hi, Leo. I hope you're well. Happy Scorpio season. So Leo, I'm going to pull a card to represent your Scorpio season lesson. So the lesson that is coming through for my Leos for Scorpio season. And then how you can best really flow with and learn from this lesson, okay? Interesting. Okay, Leo, so your lesson is represented by the Five of Chalices, or the Five of Cups, and your way through this lesson is represented by the Seven of Chalices, or the Seven of Cups, okay? So here's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like, first I'm feeling like, taking a big sigh, okay? It's just like, let out some emotional tension. I feel that may be building up for some of you, especially over this next month, over the course of this cycle. It just feels like really just like let go of some stress, and like with the Five of Cups coming through as your lesson, or the Five of Chalices, I feel like either some things are not going to be working out for you over this next month, or they haven't been working out for you recently, and there is like a tendency to fixate on those losses, and it's creating more tension and stress than it really needs to. And so I feel that the Seven of Chalices is super coming through to tell you it's like some of these things that you've gotten fixated on or wrapped up in, or you feel like are big losses, they're just distractions, okay? They're not for your highest and best. They're not necessarily even for you. And so there is just like a need to let go. There's a need to let go of the things that you've lost. There's a need to let go of the things that did not work out. Otherwise, you're gonna get kind of like wrapped up in this world that is happening within your own head, right? this world where you are either continuing to like live out these things that you've lost or didn't work out, or you are still trying to figure out how to resolve them and get them back when you're really just not meant to, okay? And that is really just feeling like the Seven of Chalices, the illusion, the fantasy, okay? So let go of that, because it was lost for a reason. It didn't work out for a reason. And there is still something else for you, but you won't be able to access it if you are super fixated on the stuff that is already gone, okay? Okay, Leo. So, hope that helps to guide you through this cycle, and I hope you have a wonderful Scorpio season, all right? Okay, so moving on from Leo and into Virgo. So Virgo, hello, hope you're well. Ooh, jumping out for you. So Virgo, I'm pulling one card to represent your Scorpio season lesson, and then another card to represent your best way through this lesson, or your best way to really learn from this lesson, okay? Where are we? We're here. Great. So, interesting. Excuse me. Okay, Virgo. So, your lesson is represented by the 10 of Chalices or Cups, and your best way through this lesson is represented by the 5 of Pentacles, okay? So here is what I'm feeling. Here's what I'm feeling, Virgo. I'm feeling that the 10 of Chalices is coming through as your lesson. It's really making me feel like there's a longing. I'm having a feeling of longing, of a strong desire for something that I don't necessarily have yet. And a little bit of like a fixation on a vision that I'm having, or a dream that I'm having of something that will bring me happiness, okay? So you may find yourself in that place of getting caught up in the things that you don't have. And the 5 of Pentacles, I feel, is really coming in to tell me, or to tell you, to fixate on more immediate needs, okay, on more physical needs, on your human, on what needs your attention right here and right now, instead of getting lost in fantasies of the future, okay, Virgo? So I'm just feeling that a little bit, like, you may find yourself getting lost or caught up in this vision of the future, and in doing that, you may be neglecting some of the things that really need your attention in the present moment. And it may feel easier to be in the future, because the present, certain things in the present may not be very easy to manage, right? The 5 of Pentacles doesn't look like a very easy and manageable thing, does it? But you have to get past some of these present challenges if you want to get anywhere near your future dreams and goals. Living in your future is not going to be like a healthy way for you, or a practical way for you to get to what you want, all right? So recognize if you find that happening, bring yourself back into the present moment, and do what you gotta do to get through whatever is happening right now, okay? And know that you are guided. Know that you're not alone. Don't be afraid, okay? It just sort of feels like there's just a little bit of challenge and things in the present moment that you may feel like you want to escape from, but it's all happening for a reason. And getting past these challenges are going to help you to learn and to grow, so that you can get closer to your future goals, okay? Okay, so enjoy your season, and I hope this helps to guide you through Virgo, okay? Okay. So we're on to the last sign, baby. Okay, and all the cards are flying out for my Libras. So Libra, I hope you're doing well. Your season just came to a close, and I hope you had a wonderful birthday. Libra, I am going to pull one card for you to represent your Scorpio season lesson, and then one card to represent how you can best work with and really learn from that lesson, okay? So for my Libras, your Scorpio season lesson, what is Scorpio coming in to teach you? And then how can you best work with that lesson? Okay. Okay, Libra, so... So Libra, we've got the Wheel of Fortune as your lesson. Interesting visual there. And then as your best way through that lesson, or to really learn that lesson, we've got the Four of Wands. So Libra, here's what I'm seeing. The Wheel of Fortune is showing me your past and your future at war with each other. Feels like your past and your future are really tangled up, and I know this sounds really strange, but this is just what I'm being shown. So I'm seeing your past and your future. You're wrapped up in it, okay? It's sort of just like all encompassing. And then I'm seeing your present moment as this bird up here kind of poking its head and going, hey guys, what about me? Don't forget about me, okay? So your present moment needs attention. A lot of times when I see the Four of Wands, it's a reminder to be present and to be in this moment as it is right now. So there's a lesson here in not getting overly wrapped up in things of your past or in the vision that you have for your future, Libra. And if you find yourself overly fixating on or living in your mind, your past or your future, right? When it comes to things like relationships or jobs or desires, dreams, whatever it may be, if you find yourself overly getting caught up in either one of these things, right? Dreaming for the future, getting caught or stuck in things from your past that you've lost, bring yourself back to this present moment, okay? Bring yourself back to this present moment. Do a lot of grounding, Libra, over the course of this cycle. If you want to do a really simple grounding meditation every morning, for example, that could be very helpful for you. And just constantly remind yourself to stay present if you find yourself slipping away from the moment as it is right now, okay? So, I feel like another thing that will help is just to do a lot of things that are very sensory for you. You are a child of Venus, so you will enjoy a lot of the kind of physical pleasures of life. So make sure that you are doing some of those things. So like set up appointments for yourself, right? To like get your hair cut or get a massage or even just do some pleasurable things for yourself like swimming or walking in nature, right? Make sure that you're connecting to physical reality and to the simple pleasures of life like delicious food, right? Libra, so remain connected, remain present, and give your present moment the attention that it needs and deserves, okay? Okay, Libra, so enjoy your Scorpio season. And that's it, everybody. That's it for the readings. If you made it this far, if you're still watching, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and give this video a thumbs up if you loved it. And if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, you can absolutely do that on my website. I will leave that in the description box below, or it's thevanmystic.com. And also follow me on Instagram if you're not already. Of course, I do a lot of community readings there and things like that. So it's a lot of fun, and I'm there at The Van Mystic. Okay? Okay. Love you all. Bye.